somebody a little different size. Ready?
State's ready, Your Honor.
Ready, Your Honor.
Here's what I think we probably ought to do is we'll just have the preliminary hearing and then we'll allow you to ask any questions that may ordinarily be outside that realm if you think may be helpful to business about the bond. We'll take those things up after we've had the preliminary hearing.
See, as Your Honor saying, do all the proofs simultaneously.
Do all the proofs simultaneously, and then we'll just make a decision about the case after we put on enough proof for the preliminary hearing. You guys have had an opportunity to put on whatever proof you're going to have about the bond. Those are the only two things that I know that are pending.
That's right.
And does somebody need the file? I've got the file.
No, Your Honor.
And whenever you're ready, let's see
Okay.
if in the matter of the state of Tennessee versus Douglas Kirk Rawl, where he's charged with criminal homicide for the purpose of preliminary hearing as his plea.
We would plead not guilty.
Thank you. And call your first witness.
Your Honor, State would call Sergeant Ron Henry of the Williams County Sheriff's Office.
Is anybody asking for the rule?
Yes, Your Honor. This time the State's going to ask for the rule.
And if you'll raise your right hand, you swear or affirm the testimony you have to give us the truth. Have a seat.
Can you please introduce yourself to the court, sir?
Sergeant Ron Henry, Williams County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been with the Sheriff's Office?
Been here about 2.5 years.
Before that, have you had any prior law enforcement experience?
I was an officer up in Alaska.
So all in, how much law enforcement experience do you have?
Approximately 5 years.
Were you on duty on July 1st of this year?
I was.
And did you have an opportunity to respond to a call at Wellsford Lane?
I did.
Was that in response to a 911 audio call?
It was.
Your Honor, at this time, the state and the defense have agreed that the recording of that 911 is admissible, and we're going to ask to admit it as the state's first exhibit.
I think it's, at least as far as the bond's concerned, it's going to be reliable hearsay. I think it's admissible.
You know, and we agree, Judge. And Your Honor, we, after receiving a copy of the, or recording from 911 on Wednesday, we had a transcript prepared, and we think it'd be prudent to go ahead and provide that to the court and possibly the officer to review and have that in course of the 911 call. So we provided a copy to the state as well.
Judge, the only concern the state has is the state has not had an opportunity to review that. It was provided to us this morning. We haven't had a chance to compare it to the audio.
Well, let's see if something comes up. You just hold on to it. Let's see if anything comes up where there's any disagreement about it, and then we'll may refer to it. But let's just listen to the report.
Yes, Your Honor.
Madam Clerk, can I link into the system? Madam Clerk, can we turn off the television? See if that works.
What is the location of your emergency? Okay, take time to respond well for letting what's going on there. What's going on there? Hello?
My name is Douglas Kirk Rawl. From August 22nd, 1968.
So what's going on there?
I'm sorry, Judge.
Can you turn up the volume? Is that as loud
It's
as
as loud as my system's gonna.
I think that is as loud as it goes, Judge.
Okay.
murdered my wife. I said it is.
Okay, what's her name?
Her name is Allison Rawl.
And what exactly did you do this for? What exactly did you do this for?
Because I was legitimately thought that she was the devil. And I thought that I was the son of God. Maybe you could use that.
What was your last name, Douglas?
It's Rawl.
Okay.
It rhymes with y'all.
And where is the gun that you used, Douglas?
Let me find it. Let me make a hole in it.
I'm sorry, you don't have to go find it, but it's not with you anymore.
No, it's right here in the bed.
Okay, don't put it with you longer, okay?
You want to put it in my back pants?
No, you can leave it where it's at, Douglas.
I can put it in my pants when you find it.
It doesn't need to be on your person, Douglas.
It doesn't need to be on a person, but if it was on a person, that's fine.
Is anyone else in the home?
It's just some gas leaking.
There's some gas leaking in the home.
There's some bullshit gas leaking.
Where's your wife located?
Right on the floor where I shot her.
She's in the bedroom.
She used to be in my bedroom.
Okay.
And now 7 years. Thank you, Lord.
Okay, Douglas, can you confirm your phone number for me?
It's got Jesus Christ, the Son of God, not me. I'm not the Son of God. I am not. Repeat. Let me record this. I am not. I am not the Son of God. Jesus is the Son of God. Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. And Jesus fucking Christ is my Lord and Savior. Jesus, my fucking Christ. Amen. Like a cat getting key on the earth, along with the fucking devil. Hang on, please. It's me, bud. It's up here. Shit. Look at it. I'm on 911. 911, you got me?
I'm still here, Douglas.
Come as fast as you can.
Okay,
How long
Douglas.
do I have to?
I'm sorry.
How much longer do I have to wait till the police get here?
They're on their way, Douglas, as fast as they can get there, okay?
You sure?
Yes, I'm positive.
You run on 6?
I'm sorry.
You know where I'm gonna sit, don't you?
Where are you gonna sit at?
I'm gonna sit with 6.
On the front porch?
Yes.
Is that gun still in your back of your pants?
Look on me next week. I'm gonna leave it right here on the bed because I won't leave.
Okay, that's perfect, Douglas.
I'm gonna grab the keys that I'll need. And some of the stickers on the pieces called checkbook. It's not called checkbook anymore. It's called buttholes. Flavored.
What exactly is?
Buttholes are the green. Hold on a minute, there's a gas leak thing going on. Ever since you cut it off, you know what time you do? That was only the 238. Because the higher is insane. Yes.
Okay.
Turning that off would make me insane. And it's clearly not insane.
Okay, well, don't turn it off if you don't want.
Back there, Bob! Mr. Parker, you used to be The heaven is not anymore. You know what? I don't even need to fuck with that devil anymore because that devil is playing the game. And I don't care. All right.
And you're there alone, Douglas?
Yes.
Okay.
As long as anybody can be.
Douglas, do you know if your wife was still breathing?
She's still fractured. When she busted over to me, pick me up.
Send them as quickly as they can, Douglas, to you, okay? Are you gonna sit on the front porch?
I'll wait until heaven. I'll wait until heaven's gate opens up. And my hell goes away forever. I'm coming down. You mind if I take out my clothes?
Douglas, that's completely up to you. I'm not there with you, okay?
What deal? You mind if I get rid of this wall?
You're gonna what?
The wall.
Okay, what are you gonna do with it?
Ridiculous shit. All I do is walk away. All I gotta do is walk away. It's not only one call. It's very convenient. All I have to do is get down to being just like I was born, and I can live to be. How old am I?
Did you say you're born in 68?
Yes.
So are you 58?
I'm 57.
57, your birthday hasn't come yet this year?
No. I gotta make it all the way to my birthday. I gotta make it all the way to July 4th. July 4th is just around the corner.
Yeah, it's this weekend.
Hey, you know what? Tell the cops they can kick my ass. Tell the motherfucking cops they can kick my ass. I'm gonna bury this body. You bring this shit. I'm living another day. I'm not turning myself in. Fuck off. I'm gonna rule father and asshole. I'm a damn rebel. I'm the son of God. Bye-bye. See you then.
Sergeant Henry, have you heard that call in its entirety before today?
No.
Have you heard a portion of it?
Yes.
And when did you hear that portion?
Throughout the call, after everything been handled, Mr. Rawl was already arrested at that point.
So before you arrived on scene, were some of those things relayed to you by dispatch?
Some of it.
Can you tell me what you were told by dispatch?
The beginning portion of it, that Mr. Rawl had identified himself, identified that he had just shot his wife, identified his wife, where she was laying, and that he had a handgun.
And did you proceed to the address that he provided?
I did.
What happened when you got there?
When I arrived, I was able to observe a white male who was later identified as Mr. Rawl. He was standing on the base of the steps of his front porch. He was nude from the waist down. He was actively taking off a black shirt. Once I exited my vehicle, I drew my duty issue pistol just because of the call.
You said you drew your firearm.
Correct.
Okay, and at that point, what did you do with your firearm?
I kept it at a low ready position. Again, not knowing where the firearm actually was, I made sure I was ready if that was displayed.
Did you give any orders to the person that was standing on the porch?
I did. I immediately told him to sit down on the porch once he removed his shirt, and he followed that command.
Did you give him another order?
I did. At that point, seeing that he did follow that initial command, I told him to step towards me into the grass, and then, which he did follow that command, told him to stop and get down on his knees, which he did. Told him to turn around, which he did. And then the last command I gave was to place his hands behind his back.
At that point, what did you do with your firearm?
At that point, I still had it at that position, just again to make sure that it was ready if needed.
At that point, were you satisfied that he did not have a firearm?
Based upon what I'd seen being completely nude, I did not observe anything in his hands at that time.
So what did you do next?
At that time, once I told him to place his hands behind his back, he stood up, told me no, and started walking at me.
At that point, did you do anything with your firearm?
At that point, again, seeing nothing in his hands, nothing in his person, I put my pistol away and displayed my taser.
This taser, is it a Taser 10 or a Taser 7 model?
Taser 10.
So can you tell me how that system actually functions?
It is unlike the other tasers that we've used. This taser deploys one taser probe per trigger pull.
And based on your understanding, are you required to have multiple probes in a target before it'll do its design job?
Correct. Because of the probe, the way it works is you need at least 2 probes put in different parts of the body to lock up the muscle function in the person's body in order to stop them from advancing.
Do we call that neuromuscular incapacitation?
We do.
So at that point, once you had drawn your taser, tell me what happened next.
When I activated my taser, it displays a green light. I placed that light on Mr. Roll's chest. I told him to get down on the ground or I would tase him.
Did he get down on the ground?
No.
So at that point, he had already failed to comply with one command. You've given it to him a second time and he's failed again.
Correct.
What happened next?
I deployed my taser and striking Mr. Roll 2 times in the chest, giving a pain response.
What happened next?
I told him to stop and get down on the ground. He reacted to the initial taser probes, but continued walking at me.
When you say he reacted, can you describe his reaction to us?
It's a tense, it's like getting shocked with electricity. That's what the taser does. And so you will react by jerking, and he also yelled.
Okay. But you said that he continued forward.
Correct.
Can you tell me what happened after that?
As he continued, again, giving another command to get down on the ground. Once he kept walking, I told him I was going to tase him again, and I did so 3 additional times until I eventually achieved the neuromuscular incapacitation, and he fell to the ground.
At that point, was he, did he sustain any injury at that point?
He did. When he fell to the ground, he landed on his head and had blood coming from the forehead.
Prior to that blood coming from his forehead, in the short time that you had to observe him, did you observe any physical injuries on Mr. Rawl?
No other injuries were observed at that time.
So after he fell to the ground, what happened?
I gave radio communication to everyone else that was coming, let them know what happened. I also gave commands to Mr. Roll to stay on the ground, to not get up or move. After the 5 seconds, which is a minimum amount of time for the taser, he initially started to sit up and try to pull the probes out of his chest.
So let's talk about the fall again for a second. That fall, based on your training and experience and your experience with tasers and specifically the Taser 10, do you believe that fall was a voluntary or an involuntary response?
It was an involuntary response from him. That taser again locks up the muscles and he is unable to move when it's achieved correctly.
Now, you told us that while he was on the ground, he started to move again. So describe how that happens.
So the taser, once it works properly, gets the connection, it runs for approximately 5 seconds, sending electricity into the probes, initially into the body. Once that 5 seconds is over, there's no more electricity. The person is able to move again.
And that's when he started to move?
Correct.
Okay, so describe then what happened.
So as he started to move again, he started to sit up and started to grab the probes in his chest. I told him not to do it. He continued doing it, so I initiated my taser again. I did not shoot any probes, but I can initiate the electricity current back into the taser, which effectively affects the body in the same effect as long as the probes are correctly still placed.
Did he respond physically to that?
It did. It did achieve the neuromuscular incapacitation again, and he obviously yelled and seized up again.
What happened after that?
At that time, other deputies arrived and were able to place Mr. Rawl in handcuffs.
Did you have any further interaction with Mr. Rawl that morning?
Very low. At that point, I let another deputy handle him, secured him, while I and another deputy went into the house.
Who was the other deputy?
Deputy Nick Pett was the one who placed handcuffs on Mr. Rawl. The other deputy that went in the house with me was Deputy Bowman.
You entered the house at that point.
I did.
Can you describe what happens as you go in through that front door?
So we went into the front door. Based upon the information, we were trying to do a security check, see who else was in the house, if there was somebody shot, render aid. We heard that it was in the bedroom. We did not know where exactly, so we started searching the house. I eventually observed a light on in a bedroom in the back left corner. I entered the room, was initially the master bedroom. Walked in, there's a big bedroom in the center of the room, and on the left-hand side, I observed a white female laying on the floor. She was wearing a pink t-shirt.
Did you notice anything about her at that point?
Yes, there was a pool of blood underneath her body, especially the head area. I observed what I believe to be a gunshot wound to the center of the head between the ear and the temple.
After you observed that in the bedroom, what did you do next?
After that, I began walking out. Deputy Bowman informed me there was a firearm laying on the bed. So I did observe that and walked back in to make sure. I observed a silver snub-nose revolver with a black handle.
At that point, once you had entered the house, you told us that your primary purpose was there to render aid. Were you there to search the house?
I was not there to search the house any further than to render aid to make sure no one else was involved.
Okay. So after you had determined that the white female in the pink shirt was, did you determine at that point that she was deceased?
I believe at that point she was deceased.
After you made that determination, did you leave the house?
I exited the house with Deputy Bowman at that time.
What happened next?
Because we need to have an EMS confirm that she was deceased. I entered the house again with a supervisor from the EMS. We went in, she confirmed, gave a time of death for the initial response, and then felt her, she was cool to the touch.
At that point, did you escort the EMS personnel out of the house?
I did.
Did you return into the house?
I did not.
At any point through the rest of that morning, you never went back in the house?
No, sir.
Your Honor, State has no further questions for Sergeant Henry.
Sergeant Henry, good morning. Now, as I understand your testimony, you were first on the scene, correct?
Correct.
And how did you know, or how did the police department know that there was a shooting on Wellsford Drive?
Because the caller reported it.
And the caller was Mr. Rawl.
He identified it himself as Douglas Rawl.
Nobody else called the police that night other than Mr. Rawl and informed the police department that there was a shooting.
Correct.
And so minutes later, hours later, there was no neighbor and nobody else called with information saying they heard gunshots or anything like that.
I did not know at that time, no.
Now, at the time, you said you were provided some information from the 911 call, and you provided that an identification, correct?
Correct.
That there was Mr. Rawl shot his wife,
Correct.
and that there was a handgun involved.
Correct.
What other information were you provided?
Just that he identified himself, his date of birth, his wife, date of birth, that he had shot her, and that he believed she was the devil.
And were you aware that that call was placed just minutes after the shooting?
I did not know exactly when the shooting occurred. I just knew that he had called in saying he shot his wife.
And that Mr. Rawl remained on the phone with dispatch for almost 9 minutes?
Yes.
He was at least cooperative in the phone call and compliant with the dispatch, correct?
From what I just heard, for the majority of the information.
And specifically, he told dispatch that he was going to stand on the front porch and wait for police to get there.
Correct.
And that he wanted police, and you heard it on the recording, to hurry up. He asked multiple times that the police hurry up and get there, right?
Correct.
And when you arrived, he was actually on the steps, correct?
He was standing at the base of the steps.
I'm going to pass you a photograph. It's actually 2 photographs. If you could, Sergeant Henry, will you please take a look at the photographs that were provided to you by the court officer? Do those two photographs look like an accurate representation of the front porch and then the front yard of this location at Wellsford Lane?
It does.
Your Honor, I'd like to make that the first exhibit.
Your Honor, state would ask that be the second exhibit.
Oh, sorry, second exhibit.
Recording is
And Sergeant Henry, all of the description you gave of what took place in that front yard, did it take place, looking at that photograph, in that front yard and then onto the driveway there?
So initially, again, on the steps, as you walked towards the grass toward me, it would have been to the left side of the second picture facing the yard. It is not in the actual picture itself.
Okay, so it's actually to the left over there?
Left.
Understood. And did all the interactions you had with Mr. Rawl kind of take place in that area?
It did.
And at no attempt during your interaction with Mr. Rawl did he attempt to flee the scene or run away?
Run away now.
And he was not trying to avoid detection from you in any way? It wasn't
Objection
hiding?
calls for speculation.
and you can rephrase your question, but the way you're asking.
Based on your observation, did you see anything that would indicate he was trying to elude detection or evade arrest?
No.
And in fact, when you were talking about his actions that night, you described him as advancing towards you?
Correct.
And that was after he followed, I think you said, 4 different commands. And it was the 5th one that caused him to stand up and start walking towards you, right?
Correct.
He wasn't running towards you.
He was not running.
And during the time he was following the initial commands, what was his demeanor at that point?
Quiet. He didn't really say a whole lot that time.
Was he, any other description, any other, like your observations of how he was looking? Was he panting? Was he acting in any way based on your own eyes that you can identify or describe?
At that time, I was looking at a naked man that was, potentially just stated he just shot his wife. I was watching his hands, I was watching his body language. That's what my concern was at that time.
Sure. Did he do anything aggressive towards you or another officer?
Just the time he disobeyed those commands and started advancing towards me.
How far did he get when he was advancing?
Several feet.
And as he's advancing, are you backing up at that point?
I am.
And then that's when you start to deploy the tasers?
Correct.
Now, I understand the taser you described, that when you originally shot it, there was a pain response
Correct.
and that he jerked and yelled.
Yes.
Now, when you arrive at the scene, when you're having this initial interaction with Mr. Rawl, is your body camera running the entire time?
It is.
Have you gone back and observed or watched the video to see if it's been preserved and saved in the system?
It has.
Okay. Now, it is all this interaction with Mr. Rawl from the time you arrive at the scene and until ultimately you're no longer in Mr. Rawl's presence. Is all of that captured on the body camera?
It is.
Now, you mentioned an officer or Deputy Bowman. Is that correct?
He's one of them, yes.
And do you know if he was also wearing a body camera?
He was.
And do you know, you may not, do you know if in fact that's been saved and preserved?
I have not watched his camera.
Now, you've been, you said, an officer now for a total of 5 years, 2.5 with the Williamson County Sheriff's Department, correct?
Correct.
And so you've had some training experience in the field, right?
Yes, sir.
And based on your training experience, what did you see in Mr. Rawl at that time based on your observations?
At which time?
Well, when you were having interactions with him, did you see somebody in your mind that appeared impaired?
Objection calls for speculation.
Well, I think he can testify about, I think he saved it the last second. Was there any, he's asking you whether or not there were any clues that you may have been impaired.
I did not see anything that would show impairment at that time.
How about mental health issues?
Objection, speculation.
Yeah, I'm afraid to go ahead and stop that.
All right, we've talked about some of the things that Mr. Rawl did do, and I want to talk to you about some of the things that he did not do. Based on your observations, he didn't make any attempts to hide the weapon that was used in the shooting.
No.
And we've already described he didn't make any attempts to flee or evade your arrest or your detention, other than the walking forward.
Correct.
And he's the one who, as you indicated, called the police department, correct?
Correct.
And he didn't then, as we know, wait much time to call the police department, did he?
I have no idea when he initially made that.
Based on your observations of the scene when you entered the home, did it appear he made any attempts to hide any evidence in the home?
Objection, speculation.
You have to ask a more specific question. I'm going to sustain.
Again, and I understand that you didn't go through and actually search the residence. I understand that. But based on what you initially saw, because you were the first one in the residence, did it appear that anything had been moved or hidden or tampered with in any way just based on your initial observation?
Judge,
I don't know how he can answer that
Okay.
question.
How did you find the home when you walked in initially? How did it appear to you based on your observations?
Like a residence. Everyone,
Well, was there stuff thrown everywhere? Was it pretty orderly?
appeared orderly from what I could see.
Did you make any other observations when you were in the home that you haven't described to us?
No.
Okay. Now, did it appear based on your observations that either vehicle had been attempted to be moved or taken or
objection,
accessed?
speculation.
Yeah, it's the same thing. He's not familiar with the home, he's not going to know any of those things. So, I mean, there's probably questions you can ask along that line, but that's just not going to be it.
Did you, when you walked in, did you notice the keys sitting on the counter?
I did not.
Now, the only weapon that you observed was the .357 that was sitting on the bed, correct?
The silver revolver that was on the bed, correct?
Okay. And did you know at the time that that was Mrs. Rawls' weapon?
I did not.
Now, did you observe any other weapons at the scene?
Not at that time.
And Mr. Rawl did not have a weapon or any type of anything on his person?
No.
Now, once Mr. Rawl was taken into custody, did you have any contact with him after he was placed in the back of the patrol car?
No. My other deputies had pretty much all contact with him at that point.
Where was he? What patrol car was he placed in?
He was not. He was taken immediately to the EMS ambulance.
Okay, so he was transported from the scene by ambulance?
Correct.
Okay, and were officers there in the ambulance with him?
Deputy Bowman rode in the ambulance to the hospital.
Okay. And do you know who transported her from the hospital to the jail?
I do not.
While you were in the residence, did you touch or move or manipulate any item in the property?
No, just the door handle.
And that's not your objective when you're there, right? When you were in the bedroom, you mentioned that you observed the revolver sitting on the top of the bed, correct?
Correct.
Did you also see the holster sitting on the floor?
I did not.
At any point in time, did you see the holster?
I did not.
Do you remember or recall how the bed was manipulated or positioned in the room?
It was sitting in the middle of the room.
Yeah, but were you able to observe it being pushed away approximately 1.5 feet, 2 feet from the wall?
No, it was not.
Were you at the jail or aware of what took place at the jail when Mr. Rawl was taken there?
I was not.
One moment, Your Honor. You were the first to come in contact with Mr. Rawl, you and Deputy Bowman, correct?
I was the first one to make contact with him.
You mentioned that he had no clothes on from the waist down,
Initially when I arrived.
and he had a shirt that he was removing.
Correct.
Any other article of clothing?
Not that I observed.
Were you able to observe anything on the shirt?
No.
You did not see any blood or anything on the shirt?
No. All I saw was him removing it.
How about on his person, whether it be his hands, his head, his face, his body?
I did not observe anything at that time.
Those are my questions, Judge. Thank you.
Anything else, Judge?
Sergeant Henry, the person that we've been talking about is Mr. Rawl. Is he here in the courtroom today?
He is.
Can you identify him by an article of clothing he's wearing?
He's wearing the orange suit, sir.
See what asked the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant.
Yes, Judge.
And we've been talking about Wellsford Lane and College Grove. Is that right?
Correct.
Is that in Williamson County?
It is.
State has no further questions.
Call your next witness, you can step in.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would call Detective Tamika Sanders to the stand. sorry, Captain Tamika Sanders.
You swear or affirm testimony you have to give us the truth?
I do.
Have a seat. Speak up nice and loud.
Good morning. Can you introduce yourself to the court, ma'am?
I am Tamika Sanders,
And where are you currently employed?
Williamson County Sheriff's Office.
What's your role with the sheriff's
I'm the
office?
captain of the Criminal Investigations Division.
And what does that mean?
That means that I oversee the Criminal Investigations Division.
Now,
I'm the
does-
supervisor.
Does that mean that you're involved in every stage of every investigation that the sheriff's office conducts?
No, not every stage.
Okay. Were you involved, or at least partially involved, with the investigation of a murder or a possible homicide that happened on July 1st in College Grove?
Yes, I was.
And how did you first come to be involved in that?
I was contacted by Detective Rachel Haber and informed that there had been a homicide.
So what was the first step that you took?
I told her that I would head to her to see what we had and we would try to gather some people to assist her.
Where did you first go?
The first place that I went was to Williamson Medical Center.
And what did you find at Williamson Medical Center?
I found Mr. Rawl, who is a suspect in this case.
At that point, what was going on with Mr. Rawl?
Mr. Rawl was in room 15 and he was receiving medical care.
And was there anything that you heard from Mr. Rawl at that point that was relevant to your investigation?
At that point, no. I don't remember
Okay.
when I got there.
So what happened to Mr. Rawl while you were at the hospital there? Did he continue to receive treatment?
He did. He went and got a CT and then he got stitches.
And then what happened?
Then Lieutenant Colvin and I went in and she took photographs and collected GSR.
Would that be standard practice for this kind of investigation?
Yes.
And after you had collected that GSR, did you do anything else with Mr. Rawl?
I talked with Mr. Rawl and asked him about his wife and her parents or some next of kin other than him, because I felt that it was important that someone let her other family know what had happened to her. I did not want them to see that on the media. So I spoke with him to try to get information about who I could contact. I got information from him about her place of employment, and I think that was, I think that was it at the hospital.
At that point, was Mr. Rawl released from medical care?
Just shortly before, he was going to be released. They
Okay.
were waiting for us. I think we got some blood or something and we were doing what we needed to do, but he was not having medical care anymore.
Okay. At that point, what happened to Mr. Rawl?
Mr. Rawl was transported to the sheriff's office
And where is that?
at 408 Century Court.
And who transported him?
I don't remember his name, but a deputy from the jail.
Okay. When Mr. Rawl arrived at the jail, did you meet him, or at the sheriff's office, I'm sorry, did you meet him at the sheriff's office?
We did meet him because I left one thing out. When we were in the room with him, he kept saying he just wanted to get it over with and tell us what happened.
He wanted to tell you what happened?
Yes,
So when you went back to the sheriff's office, did you and Lieutenant Colvin meet with him?
we did.
Was that in an interview room?
It was.
Before you and Lieutenant Colvin spoke with him, did you advise him that he had the right to remain silent?
Yes,
And did he acknowledge that he had that right?
yes.
I want to talk about what he told you in that interview. Did he tell you what happened?
He did.
What happened? According to Mr. Rawl, what happened?
According to Mr. Rawl, of course, this is based on my memory, so these are not going to be his exact statements.
So let me back up for just
Yeah.
a second. That interview.
Yes.
When that interview was conducted about 3 weeks ago, is that right?
Yes,
And-
July 1st.
And how long did that interview last?
About 2 hours.
Have you, how many times have you reviewed the video footage or the recording of that interview?
Once.
So 2 hours, at first, when you first were there, and then another 2 hours when you reviewed it.
Yes.
Since then, have you had an opportunity to really dig in and memorize the entire interview?
No.
Do you remember specific quotes of things that he said?
There are some things, yes, I do remember him saying.
Okay. But do you remember the entire interview verbatim?
No.
Okay. If that happens, if throughout as we keep talking, I want you to tell me specifically, this is a quote. Tell me when that happens. If you're going to quote him, I want you to let us know that, okay?
Okay.
So he told you what happened. What did he tell you happened?
He said a lot of things. The first thing he said was that he shot her 99 times, and he said, well, maybe only 6, but it would have only taken once. Then as we went on and I talked with him about what happened that day leading up to the actual event, he told me that he was asleep on the couch, that she was in the bed because he couldn't sleep well with her in the bed, and based on what he said, I believe he said he snored and that he couldn't sleep because she would wake him up, and he only got he only slept in the bed 20% of the time with her. But on this particular night, he said that she came and woke him up. I don't remember why, but there was an argument. I don't know that I ever understood why. He said that he was consoling her and she was crying, and he said something about he loved her butt, and then she got mad and said there's always a but. And that happened, he said, if I remember correctly, on the couch. Then at some point...
So I'm going to kind of see if we can figure this out.
Okay.
So you said that was on the couch. Based on what he told you, was that before they went to sleep?
No, he said he was asleep and she woke him up.
Okay.
And he told me, but I don't remember, or it wasn't clear, that he remembered being in the bedroom and her being on top of him.
Okay.
And I was trying to understand why she was on top of him, and he said because he was trying to pull her head from her neck, and he remembered trying to pull her head off. So I asked him to demonstrate, like, if he put his hands around her neck or where, and so he took his knee and brought it up and wrapped his hands around his knee and was like pulling, and I asked him if that was maybe her neck, and he said no, it was her forehead. And he said whenever her head wouldn't come off of her neck, he remembered having a gun and he shot her. He said that I'm trying to remember, I think I asked him if he knew he shot her or when he knew, and he said he heard the round. And he heard the sound of the gun being fired. And so then he said he thinks the first time he shot her was in the chest, and that she was curled up. And then he began to, I guess, kind of reenact what she was doing. And so he acted as if she was in like the fetal position.
So at this point, is he, when you say he's acting it out, is he acting as Douglas Rawl or is he acting as Allison Rawl?
As Allison Rawl.
So he's doing what she was doing at the time, is what he
Yes.
told you?
Yes. And he said that she was curled up and she was making this noise and was looking, and he was making this noise and saying she was pretending to be dead and trying to make him think that she was dead.
Did he tell you how that made him feel?
Yes, I asked him how that made him feel, and he said it infuriated him. And I asked him if that was why he kept shooting her, and he said maybe. And I asked him where he shot her, and I know that he said, I believe that he said that he wasn't aiming for anywhere in particular, but he may have shot her in the head, but I'm not positive about that. And he said that he kept shooting until there weren't any more rounds.
Did he tell you about any drug use in the last year that he felt was important for you to know?
He did.
Can you tell me which drugs he mentioned specifically?
He said Mucinex and Mucinex DM.
Okay.
And I asked him if it was the brand name Mucinex or something else, and he said that it was Sam's brand.
Based on your investigation, have you learned that DM stands for dextromethorphan?
I think he told me.
He told you that. Did he tell you what that drug does to him?
When I asked him what it does, he said that it makes him, it's like ibuprofen, because he said that he doesn't have pain and he can work out longer and it gives him a little bit of energy.
Did he use the word dissociative state at any time?
No.
You don't remember
I
that?
him saying that.
Okay. Did he tell you that he took this drug in a way that it was not supposed to be taken?
Yes, he told me that he would take 5 at a time. And then he said on this day, he knew it was gonna be one of those days, so he took a handful. I think he told me maybe 8, and I asked him when the last time he took it, and he said about an hour prior to the incident.
At any point, did he talk to you about consuming a portion of Ms. Rawl?
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
He said that after when she was still, that he ate some of her and pretended to like it, and that he was just being a jerk, and so not only was he a murderer, but he was a jerk too.
Your Honor, State has no further questions for Captain Sanders.
Your witness.
Captain, did you know you were going to testify today?
I did.
Did you review any of your notes prior to coming up here today?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any notes up there with you?
I do not.
Okay. Is there some reason why you didn't bring any notes with you up to the witness stand?
Well, I feel like I'm supposed to testify to what I know and not what I read. So, no, I didn't feel like I needed notes.
Okay. So you're just rolling off of memory?
Yes.
Okay. We show you the warrant in this case, and I believe the court already has a copy. If you would just take a look at the warrant affidavit, if you would, please, ma'am. Does it recite in there?
Objection, hearsay?
Your Honor, it's not, I'm not introducing it for the truth of the matter asserted. I'm trying to get her to corroborate or not what's contained in the warrant. The warrant is the process by which this man is being held.
Why don't you ask her a specific
I'm
question
getting ready to.
about some
Right.
statement in the warrant?
Right, I'm asking her.
I'll let you read that statement in
Okay.
the warrant.
All right, ma'am,
And then you can ask her about it if you want to.
I will. Thank you, Judge. All right, if you would refer to the warrant toward the bottom where it says on July 1. You
Yes.
see that? On July 1, Captain Tamika Sanders and Lieutenant Melissa Colvin interviewed Douglas Rawl about the death of his wife. That's correct, isn't it?
That is correct.
Okay. Did you write that, or who wrote that?
Detective Haber did.
Did you convey to Detective your knowledge of the case so she could put it in the warrant?
I explained to her what happened,
Okay.
but I haven't had an opportunity to finish reading this. I've not read this warrant.
Okay, why don't you just read the last paragraph to
Okay.
yourself
Okay.
in the interest of time?
Okay.
Okay. Now, does that refresh your recollection as to what you were told?
Yes.
Okay. Now, there's more things that you've just testified to than is in this paragraph. Is that true?
Say that again.
There's more things that you and he talked about than is just contained in this small paragraph.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you first encountered Mr. Rawl, he was in the hospital.
Yes.
You were asking him questions about his wife, about her family, so you could notify the family.
Yes.
And he answered your questions, didn't he?
Yes.
Okay. Without saying what the numbers were, did he give you their phone numbers?
No, I don't believe so. I asked for the names.
Okay. He gave you the names?
Yes.
Without saying what they were. And then you asked where she was employed. He told you that.
Yes.
Okay. And when you asked him the question like employment, did he have to spend 2 or 3 minutes thinking about it, or he just answered your question?
I think he just answered my question. I don't remember how long it took him.
But he was responsive to your question. He didn't have to search for answers.
No.
Okay. What was his demeanor like there at the hospital?
He was polite and calm.
Were you wearing a body cam?
No,
Was that interaction at the hospital recorded?
I believe so.
Who recorded it?
I believe the other deputy who was in the room with him. I don't remember his name. I think his last name might be Mathis, but I'm not positive.
That's fine. Now, you mentioned something about his blood being taken. Is that true?
That's correct.
Okay. Was that for medical reasons or for police investigative purposes?
Investigative purposes.
And do you have the results of that blood test at this point?
I do not.
All right. Was his urine taken?
I don't know.
Whose decision was it to take his blood?
Objection relevant.
That was irrelevant.
Well,
What did you ask her if it was?
okay.
her issue?
Do you know who made the decision to take his blood?
Objection relevance.
Well, Your Honor, she's talking, the whole point of this is goes to bond.
I think it's relevant to make a determination of, you may want to ask somebody at a later date
I will.
why they did that.
Okay,
And I'm going to let him ask that question, but she may not know.
okay. Do you know who made the decision to take his blood?
Yes,
Who?
the lead detective.
Okay. She was there?
No,
Okay. Were you in communication with her?
yes,
Do you know where she was while you were at the hospital?
at the scene.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. Then he went to were you able to, when you saw him, how was he dressed? The officer testified that he was naked from the waist down and was wearing a shirt, but when you saw him, what was he wearing?
I think he had a sheet on. I don't know that he was wearing anything.
Okay. Did he have any blood on him, on his
He-
arms?
He did.
There was blood on him?
There was blood on him.
Okay. But let me be clear. You know that he had some sort of interaction with the police officer where he fell down on the ground and then there was some blood on his forehead?
Yes,
Okay. So that was blood that was, to the best of your knowledge, caused by being
Objection
taken.
speculation.
Your Honor, I'm not asking to speculate. I'm asking her if she knows.
We'll ask it that way and then.
That's what I'll ask that way. Thank you. Are you aware that the blood on his forehead was caused by the interaction with the first arresting officer during the tasing procedure. Do you know that?
Objection, speculation.
What I'm expecting you to do is, do you know how the blood came to be on this person is the question I'm expecting you to ask, but you keep on putting in some kind of answer along with it. And that's
Well,
the
Judge,
problem that the DA's having with the way you're asking the question.
Do you know how the blood got on his forehead?
I knew that he was tased and fell.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge. How long did this interaction at the hospital occur?
Not very long.
But he said he wanted to talk to you and tell you what happened.
He said that in my presence. He was not talking to me. He was talking to Lieutenant Colvin.
Okay, but you heard those words?
Yes.
All right. Now, do you know what medications he received at the hospital?
I'm not sure.
Do you know if he was given medications at the hospital?
I don't know.
Right. Now, when you interviewed him at the police station, were you already in the room and he was brought in?
Yes.
Now, as we sit here today, are you aware that Ms. Rawl was shot with her own .357 snub-nosed pistol? You aware of that?
That's what he told me, that it was her gun, and it was a .357.
Okay, and there's nothing in your investigation that is contrary to that now we're 2 or 3 weeks later?
It's
Objection,
not my-
relevance.
Your Honor,
How is it relevant?
it's highly relevant. If this man is trying to get a gun away from her, if she's trying to kill him, I want to establish it's her gun.
Well, I haven't heard any testimony about that.
That's what I'm fixing to ask about. If I get into it,
Ask that question.
All right.
And maybe the other question won't be objection.
I will. She was shot with her own gun, you know that?
Yes. According to Mr. Rawl, she was shot with her own gun. I don't know that.
Is there anything in your investigation? You're a captain in the sheriff's department, right?
Yes.
Okay. You familiar with this investigation, aren't you?
I'm familiar with it, but it's not my investigation.
I understand. Is there anything in the investigation that you're aware of that this was not her pistol?
No.
Thank you. Are you aware that the pistol had a holster?
No.
If a holster is at the scene, you've investigated crime scenes before, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been trained in investigation of crime scenes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if there's a holster associated with a pistol that's used in a homicide, is that something that the police will recover?
Objection, relevance.
It is,
Does
Your
it go to
Honor,
probable cause?
Your Honor, this goes directly to the fact that there's a gun and a pistol.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
I think I know where you're headed, but I just don't know how you're gonna get there without putting somebody on the stand that you're not gonna put on the stand.
Well, okay. Well, we may. I don't want to have to recall this witness. Or I will simply ask a question. And if she
You
can,
asked the question, did she find a holster, did she secure a holster, does she
Okay.
know where the holster was?
Okay.
And her answers to all of those things have been no
Okay.
so far.
when you talked to Mr. Rawl, did you ask him any questions about the holster, any holster to any gun?
No.
Why not?
Because I was talking to him about him killing his wife.
Okay. When you were trying to find out what happened,
Yes.
okay. So would you not be curious of whether the gun had a holster or not?
Well, holsters don't kill people, so I don't think I would have asked him about a holster.
Well, if a holster is in a gun, if a gun is in a holster and it's removed, that's different than a gun just lying there, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but the holster wouldn't be a relevant question that I would ask about.
Okay. Would it matter to you if the holster had DNA on it to determine whether it was held by one person or another?
Well, if
Objection,
they're
relevance.
Well,
And if I may, Judge, if I can make my point, and then I'll kind of stop here. The issue is, we're talking about a holster. She said she doesn't know about the holster. She said she didn't recover the holster. She said she doesn't test the holster. Now Mr. Raven is going to start asking about DNA. None of those tests have been entered into evidence by the state.
Your Honor, I'm not asking, I'm simply wanting to know, she is talking to my client, and I want to know if she's in.
Ask her the question.
I will.
All along to hear, which is whether or not Mr. Rawls talked to her about his wife pulling a gun on him.
Okay.
It's what you want to know
Right,
about it.
and I'm going to get there.
Well, I know, but you know,
I will.
I
I'll
don't want you to have to go through Burwood. I prefer you just go directly there.
I will. Thank you, Judge. Now, you said, okay, I just want to know this. When you're talking about, you wanted to know about the firearms in the house.
I did ask about firearms in the house.
Were you aware that Mr. Rawl had a 9mm pistol in his bedstand?
I believe he told me he had a 9mm, but I don't remember if he told me where it was.
You're not, you have no information that that was used in any way in this case?
No, I don't.
Now, Mrs. Rawls' pistol was found on the bed?
I don't know.
Did you go to the scene before you questioned Mr. Rawl?
I did not.
Now, when you're talking to Mr. Rawl, the lead detective is at the house.
She was.
So you had the ability to call her and ask her any questions you wanted to help you question Mr. Rawl if you wanted to, didn't you?
I did, but I did not do that.
Okay. It says in the warrant there that Mr. Rawl, in fact, he told you he was asleep on the couch when his wife woke him up.
Yes.
And that he was sleeping on the couch mostly because he snored.
Objection, speculation.
Isn't this what he told you?
It's a different
I
question.
think she's already testified
Right.
that he told her that.
Okay.
But
And that's what
I'm
I'm.
clear about who the snorer and the snoree was in that testimony.
Right. Was he the snorer?
Based on what he said, yes.
Okay. And then he only slept in the bed, not much, but only occasionally.
Yes.
All right. Now on this couch where he slept, were you aware that there was a fully loaded .38 caliber pistol in an ottoman not 3 feet from that couch? Were you aware of that?
I was not.
Were you aware the police searched the house and nobody found that pistol in the ottoman? Were you aware of that?
I learned that later, and in looking at my interview, he did talk about that gun being in the ottoman.
Okay. But to your knowledge, the police didn't locate that until Mr. Fuson and I went to the house.
Objection, relevance, and counsel testified.
That's not relevant.
Okay. Well, I'm asking her if she knows.
That's not relevant.
All right. Now, he said the gun was there in the ottoman. Now, if Mr. Rawl was on the couch and his wife was shot in the bedroom, is that your understanding?
That's my understanding.
Okay. He would have to go from the couch into the bedroom to get there, true?
Yes.
Is it your understanding, was Mr. Rawl armed with any weapon when he went into the bedroom?
I don't know.
Did he say so?
No, he said he was in there and tried to pull her head from her neck.
I understand. My question to you is, in your questioning of him, which you, going from memory, did he say he had a weapon when he left the couch and went into the bedroom?
No, he didn't.
Did you ask him if he had a weapon when he left the couch and went into the bedroom?
No, because he told me he got his wife's gun and shot her and drew me a picture of where it was.
When did he draw this picture?
During the interview.
And this was a schematic of where people were?
It was a schematic of where the bed was and where each of the bedside tables were. He was describing where his wife's gun was kept.
In the, in the dresser next to the bed?
Like in the bedside table.
Bedside table. There's one bedside table on one side, which is her, and a bedside table on the other, which is his.
Right.
And the gun was in her bedside table.
Correct.
Now, you said in here that they argued, but it wasn't clear what the argument was about, right?
Correct.
Okay. Did you delve into the nature of the argument?
I did ask him, and it just wasn't clear. He talked about, I'm trying to remember because he told me about more than one time that they argued, so I don't remember specifically about that one.
Did he reveal to you that he had asked his wife for a divorce that very day?
No, he did not tell me that.
Did you ever ask him about how long were they married? Did you ask him that?
I believe he told me they got married in 2021.
And did you ever ask him about divorces or separations?
I did not.
You're familiar with the term initial aggressor, aren't you?
What?
Initial aggressor.
Yes.
What does that mean?
The person that starts the fight.
Okay. Were you able to determine from your interviews who the initial aggressor was?
He said that she woke him up.
Okay. Now, let's talk about this recreation that he's doing, where he's grabbing his knees and moving her head, correct?
No, he took his knee and wrapped his hands around it.
Okay. So, and I'm going to stand back over here. If he's grabbing his knees, and then he's also grabbing her head, is that and she's curled up?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Was she curled up at some point, according to him?
Yes.
Okay. And while she's being curled up, and he's grabbing the top of her head, correct?
No. No, she was curled up after he shot her.
Okay. Was there some physical altercation between them before he shot her?
Yeah, him trying to pull her head off of her neck.
Okay. So he's grabbing her head, correct?
According to him, yes.
Yes. Well, when he's pulling her head, would he be standing behind her, pulling his?
He wasn't standing, according to him.
Okay. They were on the ground?
That, according to what his reenactment was and the way I understood it, yes.
Okay. So if they're both on the ground, would he be behind her when he's pulling her head, or would he be in front of her?
You would have to ask him.
You were the one who were asking questions trying to find out what happened, isn't that true?
That is true, but the way that he described it to me, it looked as if he was behind her and pulled her on top of him.
Okay. So if he was behind her, pulling on her in some fashion, his hands would be like around her head or something, correct?
Around her forehead, according to him.
Both hands, right?
Right.
And ma'am, if he's got both hands around her head and there's a gun, who would have the gun?
It depends on at what point he got the gun. He said he got the gun.
I understand, but did you ask him if he got the gun away from her? And that was the whole point of him grabbing her around the head so he could pull her back because she had the gun in her waist.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No, I did not ask him that.
Wouldn't that be an inquiry to find out who the first aggressor was?
Based on what he told me, he grabbed her and was trying to pull her head off of her neck, and then he got her gun and shot her. That is what he told me. So he did not say anything about her having a gun and him taking it from her.
Did you ask him where he got the gun from?
I did, and he said her bedside table and drew a picture.
Okay, that's where the gun came from, true?
According to him, yes.
Okay. Was he the one who removed the gun, or was it she?
He removed the gun.
And
That's the way that I understood it from him.
did you ask him the specific question, sir, who removed the gun from the dresser?
I did not.
In an interview, you're entitled to ask questions to clarify things, aren't you?
It was clear to me that he did it because he said he got her gun out of her bedside table and shot her.
Okay. Did you ask him if he removed the weapon from a holster?
I did not.
Would that not be a question you would want to know?
At that time, that didn't seem like an important question to me, whether a gun was in a holster or not.
Okay. Now, this weapon was her weapon, and it was a snub note 38
Objection
revolver.
calls for speculation. There's been no evidence to suggest that it's her weapon. It's not in evidence.
Oh, she's already testified that it was her gun according
No,
to
she
him.
has not.
Do you know this was,
She testified that he got her gun out of the bedside table, is what she's testified
right,
to.
so that would be her gun.
According to him.
Okay, there, I think there's enough foundation for that.
I think you're right.
Thank you,
And
Judge.
if you look at the tissues, there's a box right there.
Right.
Because she keeps sniffling into the
Right.
microphones right there in the table in front of her.
Oh, thank you. Now, so the gun was a revolver.
According to him.
Do you have any information based on 2 or 3 weeks of investigation that it was anything
It's-
other than a revolver?
It's not my investigation, so I don't know.
You didn't know what kind of gun it was?
I know what he told me, but no, I have not. It's not my investigation.
I understand, ma'am. When you were talking to the lead detective there at the scene, wouldn't it have been important for you to know if he says he got a gun and shot her, whether it was an automatic or a semi-automatic or revolver? Wouldn't that have been important?
She's at the scene, so that's not something that I need to tell her.
No, I'm asking, did you ask the lead detective who was at the scene what kind of gun it was?
I did not.
Were you curious?
No.
Okay. Now, you said that he kept pulling the trigger until it clicked. Correct?
That's what he said.
Okay. And and if a person is firing a weapon, you're familiar with revolvers, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay. You're more familiar with a semi-automatic.
Yes.
Okay. When a semi-automatic is empty, how do you know it's empty?
Because the slide locks back.
Okay. And that phenomenon doesn't happen with a revolver, does it?
No.
Oh, how many times was Ms. Rawl shot?
I don't know.
Do you know where she was shot?
No. Well, I know in the head,
Okay.
and he told me in the chest.
Right. Do you know the range, how far away they were?
I do not.
Now, he was talking about demons and devils, right?
Yes.
Okay. A demon or a devil, did you ask him how he knew that she was the devil? Did he describe what a devil looks like?
No,
Did you ask him?
I did not.
When you talked to Mr. Rawl, was he agitated?
No.
Was he calm?
He was calm. Sometimes he got agitated when he talked about his wife. Or he seemed agitated to me.
Okay. Agitated that she was dead?
No,
Okay. Agitated that he shot her?
no,
Agitated that he was in this situation?
no.
What was do you know what caused this agitation?
No, as he was talking about things about her, he just seemed like he was agitated with her.
I see. Are you trained to look for deception when you're asking people questions?
No,
Okay. Did you see any signs of deception in Mr. Rawls' statement to you?
Objection, relevance, lack of foundation.
Your Honor, I'm asking her about her questions.
You asked her if she is trained to
Right.
be able to spot signs
Did she-
of deception, and she said no.
Okay.
And so now you're asking her what signs of deception that she may have seen in what he said, and I think you've got your answer.
Okay.
I don't know how you're going to get her to.
All right. Did he, thank you, Judge. Did Mr. Rawl cooperate in your inquiry?
yes,
Did he ever refuse to answer any questions?
he did not.
Did he ever demand a lawyer?
No,
How long did, I think you said this interview lasted 2 years? Two
No,
hours. 2 hours? All right. How did, I know. How did the interview wrap up? Did you say, well, we're done here? Or did he say, I'm done here? Or how did it end?
I'm trying to remember. He talked about contacting people in his family. He asked us to let his job know that he wouldn't be coming to work and what happened. Excuse me. I think he talked about his mom, and I told him I was not gonna call his mom, that he needed to call her because I was sure she would have questions. I asked him if we had more questions, if he would be willing to talk to me again, and he said he would.
Did you ever endeavor to talk to him again?
I did not.
Is there some reason why you didn't talk to him
Because he had an attorney.
at that point?
Later, yes, he
Later,
had an attorney.
later, okay. Now, when people are in the jail, they are allowed to make phone calls, 2 or 3 phone calls.
They're allowed to make phone calls, I don't know how many.
Okay, but when a person is arrested, they have the right to make a phone call.
That is correct.
Okay. Are you aware that when he was arrested, he made several phone calls and dialed his wife's number? Are you aware of that?
Yes,
When did you find out that he called his wife even though she was dead?
later, I don't remember when, maybe a day or so later.
In your experience, is that unusual?
I don't know, and I don't think that it's a usual thing to kill your spouse, so I don't know what the behavior, what's usual.
Okay. Did he say in the interview that he thought this whole thing was unreal?
He
Objection,
said,
calls for hearsay.
Your Honor, I'm
In this particular instance, it's not a statement against interest, so I say it's hearsay.
Your Honor, I am asking, it couldn't be hearsay. Well, even if it's hearsay,
It is hearsay.
okay, it is, but they've opened the door. I'm allowed to ask any question that she's testified as to what he says. If I'm asking additional questions, they've opened the door. The rule of evidence is if you allow some hearsay in, the rest of the statement is admissible.
But this is self-serving.
Absolutely, it's self-serving. I wouldn't ask a question unless it wasn't self-serving. I just want to know the answer. Okay, you're overruling my objection. Okay, that's fine. Ma'am, thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Nothing further for Captain Sanders.
I can't.
Nothing further for Captain Sanders.
You can sit down. Sorry, next week.
Your Honor, that's the state's proof as it relates to probable cause.
We're gonna put it on the way, whatever you're gonna put on, let's put it on.
Your Honor, at this time, the state will call Mr. Andy Tywater. Good morning, sir. Can you introduce yourself to the court by spelling your last name for us?
William Andrew Tywater, Tywater.
And do you know Mr. Douglas Kirk Rawl?
I do.
Do you know his wife, Allison Rawl?
I do.
When did you meet Allison?
25 years ago
And where do you live?
in Falls Grove.
Do you live nearby them?
A couple of streets down.
Yeah, about how far?
As a crow flies, 100 yards, 200 yards.
Okay. Were you friends with Allison?
Yes.
Tell me, how did you meet Allison?
I met her in 2001 through another friend.
Okay. At that time, were you both living at the same place?
No,
So you just happened to move into the same neighborhood at some
that's
time?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you aware of an event that occurred in August of 2025 at Ms. Rawl's residence?
Yes.
Can you tell me how you became aware of an event in August?
She called me. She called me the day after and said,
If this is for bond, then the hearsay rules,
This is for bond.
then I don't object.
We've already had their proof for,
Right.
did you intend to put on any proof?
I did.
For the problem, no, for the problem cause here.
Yes.
We'll get to that. Go ahead.
Mr. Tywater, how did you find out about that event?
she called me the next day and said, hey, I need some help. And I said, okay, what do you need? She said, we had to, last night Kurt went not crazy. He was seeing stuff kind of delusional and we had to call 911 and get him. They took him, put him in the hospital. And she said, I need to store all of our guns at your house.
Did you tell you why she needed you to store the guns?
She didn't know what was going on. She was kind of scared of what was going on, and they needed to be out of her house.
So what happened?
She brought the guns over to me on Sunday because she thought he was getting out the next day or so, and we stored them at my house, and she picked them up 3 months later.
Can you describe any of the guns?
Ooh.
And let me, that's a bad question. Let me try again. Did she bring you any handguns?
Yes.
Did she bring you handguns in a bag?
Yes.
Can you describe the bag for me?
Maybe a black duffel bag. I didn't go through the bag real well and didn't look. She had black duffel bag of some sort.
Were there multiple handguns in that bag?
She said there was.
You didn't open it though?
I didn't open it.
Okay.
No. I seen one or two sticking out of the top. I saw a revolver. That was probably it.
Do you remember what color the revolver was?
Silver, like most revolvers.
Okay. Did she bring you any other guns outside of that bag?
Yeah, she brought the long guns also. There was probably 2 or 3 long guns.
Do you remember what they were?
Oh, no.
That's okay.
No.
And what happened to those guns?
She picked those up on November the 15th.
Okay. To the best of your knowledge, what did she do with them?
Took them home, I guess.
Took them home.
Yeah. She left one, come back and got it on December the 7th, 7th.
Sometime early December?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I can have just a moment, Your Honor. Mr. Tywater, Are you asking this court to place a protective order on you restricting Mr. Rawls' contact with you as a condition of bond should he be released? Let me ask a different question. Are you concerned that if Mr. Rawl gets released, that either you or members of your family or members of your community will be at risk?
My 14-year-old daughter is very concerned if he's released.
Is she the only one who's concerned?
No, I think everybody's concerned. I mean, we don't know what went on, and we're concerned of that. If he gets out, what could happen?
Now, when you say we, who are you talking about?
Me, my wife, my daughter.
What about-
And then the neighborhood.
The neighborhood.
The neighborhood's been very vocal, on our Facebook page, As you can see in the courtroom, a lot of these people are from the neighborhood.
Okay.
So,
So you recognize some of the people standing behind me?
sure,
Or sitting behind me?
sure.
Did you and I discuss the idea that there would be a restriction placed on Mr. Rawls' communication or presence at seeing you or coming near you?
I don't think so.
Okay. Are you asking that this court restrict Mr. Rawls' ability to either return to Falls Grove, return to Williamson County, or to have any contact with you or members of the community?
That would be nice.
Okay.
That would be nice.
And I want to be clear, do you specifically know what happened in August?
No.
But you know what you were told?
I know that she said he had started acting crazy, hallucinating, not knowing what was going on, and she had to call 911 to come get him, and they had to admit him to the hospital.
Your Honor, the state has no further questions for Mr. Tidewater.
When you would get these guns, Mr. Rawl was taken in August. You're aware that he was taken to the mental hospital at some point,
I was aware he was taken to a hospital.
right? And then Ms. Rawl said that he was going to get out in a day or so, and she wanted to get the guns out of the house.
Correct.
Okay. Did she tell you that the doctors thought that might be a good idea?
No.
Were you aware that she herself had a handgun carry permit?
I probably did know that, but I can't swear to knowing, but I probably did.
All right. If I can show you this document to refresh your recollection.
Looks like a handgun permit to me.
That's all. Thank you. I'm not going to introduce it. I just wanted to refresh his recollection. Now, were you aware Ms. Rawl had her own weapons?
She said guns.
Okay. Were you aware that she owned
Your
a...
answer is no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. She said guns.
Correct.
Okay. When you came to the house, were you familiar with the fact that Mr. Rawls' mother, Kay Shaw, was there at the house?
I didn't go to the house.
Okay. Who brought the guns to you?
Shay.
Okay. Was there a cousin named Jonathan Rawl? Did you ever meet him, or did he have anything to do with these guns?
No.
Okay. So she's carrying how many long guns?
2, 3.
Okay. Did she drive them over to the house in a vehicle?
That's correct.
Okay. And then we're talking shotguns and rifles and things.
I'm assuming they were in cases.
Okay. But I mean, they'd be consistent with
Sure.
long weapons.
Sure.
Long guns. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the pistols. These pistols were in a bag?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many pistols were in the bag?
Didn't look in it.
There
It
seemed-
was open, but I didn't go through it.
Okay. Could have been 2 or 3.
Yeah, it could have been.
Okay. You told me one of them was silver?
there was a revolver that I could see.
Okay. Was it in a holster?
I don't know.
You just don't remember?
I don't know.
Now, let's talk about the return of the weapons. Shay called you and said you can bring the weapons back?
She said she'd like to come pick them up, or
Okay.
we're gonna be home.
And by that time, Mr. Rawl was back in the house, wasn't he?
I'm assuming so.
Okay. And during that time, she didn't express any fear of Mr. Rawl, did she?
Not to me.
And you may have answered this, but I want to get this straightened out. Did she come and get the guns, or did you bring them back?
She come and got them.
Okay. And you said there was one that wasn't brought back till later?
There was one that was left sitting on a rack on the wall, and I didn't realize that it was hers.
Okay. Was it a pistol or a long gun?
Long gun.
Okay. So whatever pistols there were, she had retrieved those in November.
That's correct.
Now, you knew nothing about the August incident.
I knew what she told me on the phone.
Okay. Now let's get to your testimony about the community.
Okay?
All right? And then all these citizens here are saying that you're concerned about Mr. Rawl coming back to the community.
Sure.
But you don't know what happened at the shooting of Mrs. Rawl. You don't have any personal knowledge of any of it.
I just know what everything's been said, that 911 call, the stuff that was in the newspapers.
Okay.
Obviously,
All
I
right.
couldn't talk to her to see what happened.
Okay. And you never talked to Mr. Rawl about what happened?
No.
Okay. So all of this information you're getting is from the newspapers?
And community talk,
Okay.
yes.
And you consider that, and so the idea is nobody wants Mr. Rawl to come back?
Everybody's scared and concerned of what went on. There's not every day that you have a shooting in your neighborhood next to your neighbors.
Now, so the idea is, and you can just answer, the idea is nobody wants, and you said this on direct, you don't want Mr. Rawl to come back to live in that house, right? Okay. Now, if Mr. Rawl was court ordered not to come back within 10 miles of that community and was forced to live in a whole nother state with a GPS monitor on, that'd be okay with you, wouldn't it?
It's not my decision.
I didn't ask if it was your decision. You're up here giving opinions, and I'm asking you if that's okay with you.
With me?
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to be out of jail.
Okay. He just needs to stay in jail.
That's my thoughts.
Okay. And everybody feels that way in your community, right?
They don't want him around.
And where he is, it doesn't make any difference, does it?
Should be jail.
That's all. Thank you.
Anything else, Jim?
No, Your Honor.
You step down.
Judge, at this point, the state's going to ask the court to bind the case over, and the state's going to rely on State versus Willoughby for that proposition. In that case, the Court of Criminal Appeals opined that the presiding judge has full control over the hearing, talking about a preliminary hearing, and may decline to hear further proof from the state when, in his view, probable cause has been established. The court goes on to say that he may decline to hear from the defendant such proof as, in his best judgment, is solely designed for discovery purposes. The state's position is that calling anybody else at this point is not going to go to the position of refuting probable cause. And the state's position is the court's heard enough to find probable cause and asking the state to, or asking the court bind it over as it stands.
Well, before I make a decision about that, is that the only witness you intend to call about the bond issue?
At this time, Your Honor, yes.
Well, then I'm gonna let them call whoever they want to call about the bond issue. Are you gonna put on any proof about the probable cause?
Yes, Judge, we've subpoenaed Detective Haber, the lead detective in the matter, and we have questions for Detective Haber to refute probable cause and also potentially go to bond. As Your Honor was aware, this has been
You're gonna have to have a proof about how it's gonna refute probable cause. What do you think it's gonna, I mean, you know, there used to be a case that we relied on from old Judge Henry that said, you know, it's like everybody knows that preliminary hearing is part of the discovery process, but it's just over dictum. And I'm gonna expect you to have some pro offer of proof that if you're gonna call one of the state's witnesses, how that's gonna refute probable cause. I'm just asking you, what do you think, what can you tell the court in good conscience is gonna come from calling Detective Haber other than discovery?
Yeah. Well, Judge, specifically, the state chooses in these cases to, with the affidavit, to charge it as criminal homicide. Okay, and specifically as it relates to potentially rebutting probable cause for the type of homicide and towards bond, it's very important whether this is something that was planned, if there's evidence of a struggle, and that information can only come from the lead detective. As you heard, Sergeant Henry shows up, he secures the scene and he gets out. And we've got Captain Sanders who only interviews. She said multiple times.
What questions do you want to ask Detective Haber?
Well, specifically,
What specific questions do you want to ask Detective Haber?
I've got numerous questions. Specifically,
You walk around with a folder full of numerous questions. I've seen what you do in DUIs. You do a good job, but I'm just saying, what specific question do you want to ask Detective Haber about probable cause that's not going to look like a fishing expedition?
Sure.
Because I'm willing to give you a little latitude if you have something in particular in mind that you want to know from her, and I'll let you ask that.
Sure.
But I'm not going to let you just go down seeing what you can turn over.
Understood. Specifically related.
If you want to have a minute to talk to your co-counsel about that, why don't you do that? And then I'm going to step off the bench for just a second and you talk to him about that.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, I wanted to see, Leah Thornton here is the bond lady, I was gonna call her. She stepped in, I didn't realize she was here, so if she could just step out, I'm gonna call her on the bond issue.
Judge, state's position is Rule 615 is clear. She doesn't get to testify. She hasn't been excluded.
I've never heard a bondsman testify on what,
So, she's willing to make the bond for Mr. Rawl?
well, that may be, and that's terrific, but I'm not going to let her testify about it. That's your private business.
No, well, that's fine, okay. Then you can stay here.
Who you get to walk in, you know, you can get anybody you want to make the bond. Now, what specific questions? Oh, hold on a second. Mine has been brought back in. And back to Mr. Buson, what specific questions do you want to throw off the proof on about probable cause?
Sure. After conferring with
Neighbors concerned.
Sure. After conferring with co-counsel, we've narrowed it to two specific areas where I want to question Detective Haber. One has to do with the weapon used in the shooting and other weapons found at the scene. And the second area would be planning, evidence about intent planning, struggle, and what took place based on her investigation of the actual crime scene in the bedroom. Those are the two areas that I've got questions about.
What questions are you talking, what are the questions that you want to ask?
Okay, well, first of all, with regard to the weapon, was it determined who was the first to access the weapon? We've also got information about where the holster was located. and what evidentiary information or significance that would have. We also have now, we know, other weapons located on the scene, specifically one found in the ottoman within armor's use of the couch. We found another weapon in the bedside drawer on the right side. Those are very important as far as where they were in the home. And because Sergeant Henry left the scene, we also don't know specifically if the scene was manipulated in any way. So I've got questions specific about the guns, where they were located, accessibility, and those are important, and she's the only one who's investigating this. So those are specifically, and we've also got other weapons, like I said, that were located in the residence.
Well, no, but none of those other weapons are alleged to have been used in this crime, are they?
No, they're not. I mean,
Well, let's not talk about those.
okay, so specifically the weapon that was used in the shooting, we have information about that and the holster, which we believe is very relevant.
Well, I don't know how the holster's relevant, but I'm gonna let you ask her about where the handgun, the revolver that was alleged to have been used in the perpetration of the crime, where it was found. I'll let you ask her where the holster was found, if it was found at all. I'll let you ask her, what, if any, evidence of a struggle there may have been at the crime scene. That's all I'm gonna let you ask.
And Judge, we would also like to ask about any evidence they've determined as far as any planning, any ambush, anything related to what took place prior to the shooting that she may know based on her investigation.
Well, if you ask her if they're, you're gonna have to just ask her whether or not those things have been determined. If they haven't been determined, you know, they may be developed at a later time. But you can ask her if those things have been determined, but I'm not gonna let you go blow by blow about if this, why not that kind of business. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, the state would then, if defense is permitted to ask them questions, those limited series of questions, the state does have one line of questioning that it would ask Detective Haber about the bond, specifically relating to one of the bond factors. I don't want
I'll
to.
let you ask that too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm gonna let him do this. Real quick.
Yes, Your Honor.
So let's call Detective Haber. Who's the big one?
Your Honor, Ms. Williams has stepped out. She's trying to make contact with Detective Haber. She, I believe, at this point is in the historic courthouse. She's on her way over, so it may just take a minute.
Okay. Detective Haber,
Yes, sir.
come around with me. Let me swear you in. Do you swear or affirm your testimony to be the truth?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, that's it.
Good morning, Detective Haber.
Good morning.
My questioning for you this morning is going to be somewhat limited. Okay, I'm going to ask you really about two areas. The first of which I'm going to talk to you about the weapon that was used in the shooting.
Yes.
Understand? Okay. Now, were you ever able to determine who first possessed that gun?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, no issue, no dispute that the gun used in the shooting was Mrs. Rawls' weapon.
No, that's what we've been told by witnesses.
And that's supported also by,
Objection leading.
Yes, you get ready to, don't
did you locate any additional evidence on scene either that day or through a subsequent search that confirmed that that was her weapon?
No, sir.
But you have no doubt that, or you have no evidence that.
Objection leading.
No, I think he can ask it. He can ask it that way. Go ahead.
You haven't identified anything that would indicate otherwise.
No, sir.
Now, as it relates to the gun itself, were you able to identify and locate projectiles from that gun?
Yes, sir.
And did you find all of the projectiles from the weapon?
We found 5.
And how many projectiles do you believe were in the weapon prior to it being fired?
That gun does hold 5.
Okay, so you found all the projectiles on the scene?
Yes, sir.
And were those projectiles, where were those located?
They were either in the bedroom where the victim was found or right below the bedroom where the victim was found.
Okay, how many times was the victim shot?
We don't know.
Did you use the rods, dowel rods, and determine any trajectories of the shootings of the projectiles?
No, the scene was changed by the medical examiner's office before that could be done.
So you're not able, or are you able then to determine the trajectory where the gun was fired from and where it was what angle and direction it was fired to?
Not throughout the course of the investigation as it has been so far.
Okay. Is there any additional investigation that you have in place that you believe will help you determine that?
We have a large number of items at the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
Were you able to determine how far the parties were away from each other when the shooting took place?
Not at this time.
And the firearm used in the shooting was located at the same spot that Mr. Rawl told dispatch it would be located?
Yes, sir.
Now, with regard to the holster, where was the holster for the weapon found?
It was on the floor of the bedroom.
Okay. And at the time, upon your arrival or based on your investigation, was there anything on top of it, or can you describe can you give any more information about where it was located on the floor?
No, I have to go back and look at photos.
Okay, now you're aware, or are you aware that later on it was located in the bedroom underneath some boards?
Yes, sir.
And that has now been taken and put into evidence?
Yes, sir.
And was that something that you and other investigators at the time decided to leave, or was it something that was left by mistake?
We decided to leave it.
Okay, and why is that?
Typically when we take something, we want to use that item to come up with additional evidence, so maybe DNA or fingerprints. Because it was a marital home, in my opinion, both of theirs may have been on that holster, so I did not take it.
Wouldn't it have been important to know that both of theirs was not on the holster?
We would have no idea if it was or not before testing it.
That's right, but you left it and you weren't gonna, were you planning on ever testing it until we found it there?
No, sir, the gun was not in the holster when we found the weapon.
And you don't know when the last time the gun was in the holster, do you?
No, sir.
Has it been now sent off to be tested for DNA and fingerprinting?
No, sir.
You don't plan on doing that?
Not at this time.
Calls for.
Yes, right.
What do you plan to do with the holster at this point?
Objection, relevance, does it go to probable cause?
Do you know?
Right now, we are just holding those items for your office at your request.
There you go. You're responsible for them not doing anything. Move on.
Last question on this.
Yes, sir.
Would it be important to you as the lead investigator in this investigation to know whether or not Mr. Rawls was the one who removed the gun from the holster?
Yes, that would be important.
Okay. Now I'm going to go to the second chapter, or the second area I'm allowed to speak about
Yes,
at this stage. Now, through your investigation, were you able to determine whether or not a struggle took place in the bedroom?
Not at this time. There were some indicators that there were, but we don't know enough information at this time.
Okay. Were you present when Mr. Rawl was interviewed?
No, it was not.
Are you aware of what his description of, in essence, what took place that night?
Somewhat familiar with.
And the information you've gained through the investigation, was the information you gained through the investigation indicate that it all took place in the bedroom?
Yes, sir.
Did you find signs of any struggle or anything in your investigation that indicated it happened anywhere else besides the bedroom?
No, sir.
As it relates to a struggle specifically, do you recall what the positioning of the bed was at the time officers entered the residence?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was it pushed away from the wall?
Yes, sir.
I got a photograph. I'm gonna.
She just said that she agreed
Okay.
that it was pushed away from the wall. So.
Well, when we went to the scene, is it in the same position that you observed on that day that it was?
Objection testifying.
You can't do that.
Did the bed ever change positions? Did anybody from the police department, you or anybody you're aware of, manipulate or move the bed after the shooting?
Probably.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So do you have photographs, or would the Faro scan that was performed identify the position of the bed at the time of the shooting or right after the shooting?
Objection relevance doesn't go to probable cause.
It would go to whether or not a struggle took place and whether there's evidence that they were what happened in the bedroom.
The question is, are there pictures? That doesn't go to probable cause.
No. There are no.
How far away from the wall was the bed pushed, if you know?
The bed was pushed from the wall upon our first entry into the scene. We will have documents of that.
Okay. And this is not a small bed, it's a big 4-post wooden bed, right?
Yes, sir.
Was there any other evidence inside the bedroom of a struggle or indicating what type of struggle took place?
Not that's immediately coming to mind.
Was there evidence that you obtained on the firearm or any indication that there was a struggle over the firearm, over the handgun?
No, sir.
Any information in your investigation that would identify whether or not this was pre-planned?
That is still very early. We are still trying to figure that out.
But at this time, you have no information, or do you have any information at this time whether or not it was a pre-planned event?
I can't say that we do, I can't say that we don't. There are some things that would indicate that it's potentially, but don't have enough information to make that ruling at this time.
What are those things?
Just some statements that witnesses have told us about.
All those statements that you obtained from witnesses recorded and documented?
Yes, sir.
1 second, Your Honor. Those are the questions I have. Thank you, Detective.
Absolutely.
Anything, you said you had one long question, Jim.
Detective Haber, I want to talk to you about the question of bond. You are aware that in 2006, Mr. Rawl was arrested by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, right?
Yes, sir.
You're aware that that was in Banff?
Yes, sir.
It was at a ski resort.
Yes, sir.
And at that ski resort, Mr. Rawl was accused of beating his wife with a ski pole.
Yes, sir.
He was arrested on charges of assault, right?
Yes, sir.
He was taken into custody,
Yes, sir.
and then he was released on bond.
That is my understanding. Yes, sir.
You know that not only because you have received documentation from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and from other media sources, you know that because Mr. Rawl has explained that to law enforcement himself, right?
Yes, that is my understanding.
Mr. Rawl told Detective Sanders and has told us in the interview that you have seen portions of, detailed a little bit of what happened in that event.
Yes, sir.
And he told you that it was an intentional assault on his ex-wife.
Yes, sir.
Now, since you've been asked about this, Detective Haber, you mentioned that you said he was taken into custody, is what you've learned.
I learned that from a news article, and we are working on getting supporting documents from Canada.
Yeah, because that's what I thought, because we've been doing the same thing. You've not been able to, at this time, obtain any court records of this incident, have you?
We did find some paperwork in his office. I can't remember what the paperwork details, and we have been working with investigators there to obtain that, but I have not been part of this investigation.
Are you aware that this occurred on the ski slopes while the parties were skiing?
Yes.
And you're aware that it occurred with a aluminum ski pole, right?
Yes, sir.
And it occurred, Mr. Rawl was accused of hitting his wife at the time with the ski pole.
Yes, sir.
Causing a bruise on her arm.
Yes, sir.
And after that, he was not taken to police custody. He was taken to a ski patrol building on the resort, right?
Yes, sir. Well,
And
I don't know.
Okay.
Let me correct that. I don't know.
And then after a very short period of time, he was released from that ski patrol location
Okay.
and never went to a jail.
Okay.
Okay, and after that, the charges by the Canadian prosecutor.
Counsel testifying?
Yes, he is, once again.
Are you aware that whoever the Canadian prosecutor was decided to charge?
No, you're doing it again. She said she doesn't know. She doesn't have any idea. Do you have any idea how that case transpired?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Hold on a second. Did you know the case was dismissed? Yes.
Do you know if it was dismissed?
I don't know.
Okay. Are you aware that the parties after this incident traveled back to Tennessee together?
I assumed they did, yes, sir.
Those are my questions. Thank you.
Okay.
State's proof, Judge. Well, not state's proof. State has no further questions for the defense witness.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Do you have any other witnesses for bond?
No, Your Honor.
I do. Right, and that's my next question. Who are you gonna call about the bond?
Rhonda Rawl, his sister. Rhonda Rawl.
And I presume you're saying Rhonda Rawl?
Correct, his sister. Yes, sir. Same last name.
Stop right there and let me swear you in. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you have to give will be the truth?
Yes.
Whatever you have to say.
State your name for the record.
Rhonda K. Rawl,
And you are Mr. Rawls' sister?
yes,
How old is he?
57,
How old are you?
55,
Where do you live?
Lexington, South Carolina.
And what type of work do you do?
I do marketing.
First thing I want to talk about is the bond matter. That's all I'm going to talk about. You are prepared to make the bond premium for your brother?
Yes,
And you met with Leah Hoolan from Grumpy's Bonding Company on yesterday
yes,
to disclose certain financial matters so that you could prove that you could make a bond premium.
yes,
You know, we're asking the judge to set a bond of $500,000, and the bond premium would be $50,000.
yes,
All right. And are you prepared to make that immediately?
yes,
Now, the source of this bond, you provided me with some financial documents, and Judge, I've passed this to the district attorney. He's already seen it, and I want to pass a copy to the court. Or just pass it to the witness, let her identify that. Did you prepare that document in conjunction with my office?
yes,
All right, just hand that to the judge, if you will. Does that reflect your personal assets?
yes,
And it shows that you have liquidity well in excess of $50,000.
yes,
Now, money there is your money.
yes,
Has anybody, your brother or father, anybody given you any money to post my client's bond?
no,
The funds to pay for lawyers, that came from Mr. Rawl and his father and mother.
yes,
Now, I'm going to show you a picture which we've already disclosed to the district attorney and ask you to look at those places.
Is that just the whole, all of them?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and look at all those pictures. You recognize those photographs?
Yes.
What do they show?
They show my house, external. They show internal, my guest bedroom. And then they show my father's house, which is next door to my house.
Now, the last picture on there shows both houses, and then there's a whole bunch of trees and things around it.
Yes.
What are all those trees?
This is actually a produce farm,
Approximately how many acres is that?
approximately 1,000 acres.
And that's owned by various family members?
Yes.
Okay. And the person who lives near you, that's your dad?
Yes.
All right, and he's not here today, he's what, 81?
Yes.
Has some health issues?
Yes.
All right. Now, the largest city near, what's the name of this city that you live in?
Lexington,
All right. And what is the largest city next to Lexington?
Columbia.
And how far away is that?
It's about 30 miles.
And is there an airport there?
Yes.
All right. And you've traveled by airplane to get here?
Yes.
All right. And then you have to land, I think, in Charlotte and then come to Nashville?
Correct.
All right. Now, where was your brother born?
In Lexington,
And he grew up where?
in the house, my dad's house, right next to my house.
And where did he go to high school?
Lexington High School.
Did he go to pharmacy school?
Yes.
All right. In recent years, been employed as a pharmacist?
Yes.
About when did he move to Middle Tennessee?
Probably about 2008.
Okay. He has a daughter?
Yes.
She graduated from high school here in Williamson County?
Yes.
All right. You read the arrest warrant?
Correct.
All right. Now, talking about your brother's history, you know he was arrested or something about this altercation with his second wife in Canada?
Yes.
You aware those charges were dismissed?
Yes.
Now, you realize you've read the arrest warrant,
Correct.
and I played the 911 tape for you
Yes.
in my office. You listened to all that.
Yes.
Now, where do you propose your brother live when the judge allows him to make bond?
At my house.
Does anybody else live there?
No.
Do you have any minor children live there?
No.
And do you and your family have the resources to house him, feed him, and take care of him physically?
Yes.
And your father and mother can help, they have assets.
Absolutely.
Now, when he comes to court to Nashville to visit with me and Mr. Fuson, would you or your mother accompany him so he wouldn't be traveling alone?
Yes.
And do you understand that he would have a GPS monitor on him when he would, as soon as he walked out of the jail, he'd have a GPS on him?
Yes.
All right. And you feel he'd be responsible to come to court?
Yes.
And the funds to make the bond would come exclusively from you?
Yes.
And when he was here in Nashville, he worked as a pharmacist and had a full-time job as a pharmacist until November 2025 when the pharmacy closed.
Yes.
And then he worked at another pharmacy up until the time of the shooting.
Yes.
All right. Have you ever been to your brother's house here in Nashville?
No, I have not.
Hold a moment. And how long has your family lived in this South Carolina area?
Actually, it goes back to my grandparents, so in the 1940s.
Okay. There's no plans of you moving or anything like that?
Absolutely not.
All right. Those are my questions on bonding. Your Honor, that financial document, we filed that, the district attorney has seen it, and I wanted the court to see it, but
You want it back?
I do, if possible. Thank you, Judge. Yeah. Go ahead, General.
Good morning, Ms. Rawl. My name's Dale Evans. I work for the state. How I have a couple of questions about some of the things that you talked about. You said Mr. Rawl is your brother.
Correct.
Okay. You told us just a second ago that he was employed with a pharmacy until November of last year, and then he was laid off, and then he picked up another job, and he worked that job until July 1st. Is that right?
Yes.
Are you aware that he has worked at several different pharmacies throughout the years?
Yes.
Are you aware that he was fired from his job in 2021?
What job are you referring to?
His pharmacy job?
But I'm not sure which
Do you know-
pharmacy you're talking about.
Are you aware that he has been fired from at least one pharmacy?
I'm not sure the details of fired versus let go. I'm not positive of that.
So you don't know that he was fired from the pharmacy?
Specifically to say fired, no. I know he has been let go from a pharmacy.
Okay. Do you know how many different pharmacies he's worked for in the last 5 years?
I do not.
Do you know if he's held one consistent job for more than a period of a year in the last 5 years?
I would have to look at the details. I don't have a recollection of his history of working as a pharmacist.
But you don't know where he was working for the last 5 years?
I have an idea, but I know in most cases when he moved, it was for a better job and a better position and better pay.
Okay. And is that's what he told you?
That was my understanding. Yes, that's what he told me.
Okay. Mr. Rabin asked you about the event in Canada. You're aware of that
Yes.
situation.
Yes.
Did Mr. Rawl ever deny to you that he struck his wife with an aluminum ski pole on the slopes there?
I never talked with my brother directly about that. I talked with my parents about that.
Okay, so you don't really know what happened.
I heard it through hearsay through my parents.
Okay. And what did they tell you?
They tell me that the charges were dismissed.
But did they tell you what happened?
They told me that Kurt was coming back home. That was the extent of it.
So you don't know what happened in
I
Canada?
do not have all the details.
Okay. How does the state of South Carolina handle the ownership of firearms? Do you have to have a permit in South Carolina?
I don't think so.
Okay, do you have a firearm?
I do not.
Does anybody, you talked about the farm.
Correct.
It may not be fair to call it a compound, but are there multiple houses on the property there?
Yes.
Okay. How many houses are there? Is it just you and your parents?
Well, my aunt's house is across the street, and I have two cousins. Their houses are also across the street on the farm. It's very spread out. We're not all together, the houses. You can't see one house from the next.
Okay. Is it kind of similar to that picture with just a barrier of trees or something?
Yes.
Okay. If we look at that picture that you talked about earlier,
Correct.
are those other houses, are they down here?
Yeah, they're way over, like I said, my aunt's house is probably 1,000 feet, I'm guessing.
Okay. You said you don't have a gun. Do you have a handgun carry permit?
No.
Do you have have you ever taken any sort of classes about handgun safety?
No.
Or gun safety at all?
No.
Who lives with you at that house right now?
No one.
Okay. What about your parents? Do they have firearms?
I'm not sure. I think my dad does, and I think my mother does.
Okay. What kind of guns do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not a gun person. I don't know much about guns.
Okay. What about your aunt? Does she have firearms?
Who?
You said your aunt lives
I
nearby.
don't know. I have no idea. I'm not sure.
Okay. You talked about your cousins as well. I think I know the answer, but are you aware if they have guns?
I do not know.
Okay, so they may not. We don't know.
May or may not.
We talked, Mr. Rabin talked a little bit about transportation getting back and forth. It would be your intention to fly with Mr. Rawl?
Most likely fly, yes.
Okay. Have you taken a look at any sort of TSA guidelines or security protocols in either the Columbia Airport or the Nashville Airport as to how a person would cross through a metal detector with a GPS monitor on their person?
I have not looked into that yet.
Are you aware if there is a GPS company who is ready and willing to let a person cross the state boundary, get out of the state while they have a GPS monitor on them?
Yes, I think Mr. Raven has talked with the company.
Which company?
I'm not sure.
And it's your understanding that Mr. Rawls' defense team has arranged for a GPS, or has at least confirmed that a GPS company exists that will allow him to leave the state?
Yes.
Who's going to pay for that GPS device?
I didn't know there was a charge, but I'll be happy to pay for it.
Okay. Your Honor, state has no further questions at this time.
Anything else, Mr. Ray?
Yes. Do you still have those pictures of your property there?
I do.
Judge, if you pass it up to the judge, we'd like to make that exhibit next in order.
I think they're in Mr. Son's motion. Aren't those the same pictures?
They are. I forgot that you've already seen them. All right.
Do you want to make this an exhibit anyway?
No, I don't need to. I think, don't need to. Your Honor, at this time I would hand the court, and the district attorney has seen this. This is a proposed order which has the conditions in it. Now I'll ask witness to be the GPS person. Thank you, ma'am. You can step down. If you just take the oath and tell us your name.
You'll step around here. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you have to give us the truth? I do. Look here, have a seat, make yourself comfortable so that make sure the microphone amplifies your voice.
Sorry.
State your name for the record.
Nina Gardner,
Spell your last name.
Gardner.
And are you associated with the GPS firm?
With the GPS who?
Firm, company.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what's the name of that company?
Asset Tracking Services
And
Company.
how long has it been in business?
Oh gosh, 5 years total. I've been with the company for a year.
All right. Are you prepared, if the judge orders bond, if he orders a GPS, are you prepared to fix a GPS to my client, Mr. Rawl?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have one? You already have it here with you?
It's out in my car.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Now, where is it, if he was gonna live in South Carolina, will you be able to track him in South Carolina?
Yes, sir.
How does this GPS work outside of Williamson County? How does it track?
So they ping off of cell phone towers, so they work just like cell phones would. He just obviously can't leave the country, and then bond conditions would determine whether or not, which state he could go to.
Okay, so if the judge said you're gonna live in near Columbia, South Carolina, within 50 miles of Lexington, South Carolina, and that's where you have to be, you could track that with your equipment if he went outside of that.
Are you asking, could I set up an exclusion zone
No,
to maintain him in one county?
No, let me restate the question. The proposal is that he live in South Carolina.
Okay,
Okay. We'll talk about exclusion zones in a minute.
okay.
You got inclusion zones and exclusion zones.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we're talking about inclusion zones. You can fix it so that he couldn't leave. If he left South Carolina, you all would be able to determine that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then if he came to Nashville, how would you be able to determine where he was in Nashville?
If he set up for an inclusion for a certain area, a particular county, We would be notified as soon as he were to breach that county. Satellites in outer space go off kind of thing, and then
Okay.
we dispatch police to his location.
Okay. If he's permitted to come to Davidson County to meet with his lawyers, is what I'm trying to say, you would be able to program that thing. If we called you in advance and told the district attorney he's coming to Nashville, you would all be able to configure that so you could determine that was a legitimate trip.
With respectable, like, allowed notice, yes.
Yes. How much notice would you need?
48 business days, 48 hours, so 2 business days.
Okay.
Sorry.
48 hours, not 48 days.
Correct, yes, sir.
So if we gave you 48 hours that he was coming to our office in Nashville, you'd be able to configure the things so allow him to come here.
Yes, sir, but we would leave the inclusion zone still in place, so that way, once he's cleared the zone, we'd be notified as well.
That's fine. And now coming to court, if this is ground central here in Williamson County, he could go within, let's say, 5 miles of the Williamson County Courthouse. You'd be able to configure that too.
I mean, we would have to be pretty specific with the order, but yes. I mean,
Now let's talk about exclusion zones.
okay.
Okay. What's the name of this place? Falls Grove in Williamson County. Okay. We would give you a specific address that would cover 10 miles from a place in Williamson County, a circle, radius. You'd be able to create an exclusion zone, so he would never be able to go there.
So orders that I have seen are based off of feet, so it would just have to be clarified in the order.
So if it's 20,000 feet of his former residence, you could do that.
Yes, sir.
Now we could cover all these people here who live within 100 yards of his house. They could be excluded.
Every address would have to be entered in individually because each geopoint would move.
Right. No, but I'm saying his house would be ground central. The house where he lived in, if it was 5 miles from that house, he wouldn't be allowed to go within 5 miles of his former residence. That's the point. That's where the shooting happened.
It is, yes, sir, but from what I understood from the question, if the neighbors of that initial residence were wanting their homes to be listed as well, the geopoint would move further and further out.
That's fine. They can give but if they gave their addresses to the district attorney, I'm more concerned about an exclusion zone. He wouldn't be allowed within 5 miles of his former residence, and we'd give you that address. You could configure it that way. Sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, this GPS, do people go through airports with GPS?
They can.
Okay, and how does that not set off the metal detectors? How does that work?
I advise clients that they need to take their order for a requirement by law, and they take that with them.
Then there's no problem.
So they can show proof, yes. But normally there's no need to fly if they're within the state, because normally bond conditions require them to stay within the state.
Well, in this case, we're going to ask the judge to require him not to be in Tennessee, but to live in South Carolina.
Yeah, he would just have to take proof of his order with him.
Okay, and he could fly from there to here.
Yes, if that is what the order allows.
Right. If the order required him to live in South Carolina is my point. Okay, they don't want him here in Williamson County. They want him out of town. So
Okay.
we're going to let him live with his sister
Okay,
in South Carolina. And we're just trying to make that happen.
okay,
And you can accommodate that.
I can.
That's all.
Ms. Gardner, you said just a second ago that you normally don't have people crossing through TSA.
Not every day. They are allowed to if they get there, but most bond conditions require them to stay within the state unless that's something that's previously worked out based on condition of release.
Okay. But you don't work for TSA.
I do not. So
You don't
I
work
cannot
for-
answer
for-
directly for them, correct?
Right. So it's possible that a person could get to TSA and get turned away saying, if you can't clear the metal detector, we're not letting you through.
Yes, sir.
Is that-
I don't work for TSA, so I can't advise by that, but
Okay.
yes, I would assume so.
It would be fair to say every airport is a little bit different, right?
Yes.
So even if the person were let through in Columbia, there's no guarantee that they would be let through in Nashville.
Correct.
You said a second ago, and I kind of want to follow up on this. You said that if the GPS detects that the person is either somewhere they're not supposed to be or not somewhere they are supposed to be, that you can dispatch the police?
Correct, yes, sir.
How do you do that?
We contact the closest municipality based on the last GPS point where they were pinged.
And what would you tell them?
What will we tell dispatch?
Mhm.
That we have a person that has a condition of release that is on a GPS monitor. We've had a violation for an inclusion or exclusion zone, whichever it may be, and we would request that police be dispatched immediately.
But you can't require any law enforcement agency to do anything.
Well, no, sir.
So if they said, sorry, we're too busy, we're not going, there's nothing we can do about that.
With my experience, what I have learned is that dispatch respects the monitoring companies, and we've never had an issue.
Have you ever contacted the Lexington Police Department to ask them to enforce a court order?
Lexington, Tennessee, or
Lexington, South Carolina.
I have not dealt with South Carolina, no, sir.
What about the Nashville Police Department, Metro Nashville?
Metro Nashville, yes.
What about the Brentwood Police Department?
Brentwood, yes.
Franklin?
Yes.
The Williamson County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just trying to get from the airport down here. You'd have to cross through.
Yeah.
What about the city of Columbia, South Carolina?
I have not dealt with South Carolina.
Okay, so it sounds like your interactions are, for the most part, with Middle Tennessee. That you don't deal with out-of-state people a whole lot.
From my experience, I have dealt with Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, and New York City.
Okay.
And Texas.
Okay. The device itself, can you describe it? Is it like a webbing or is it a plastic? The band?
So it is actually, it's a copper plated band. So it's like a rubber material with copper that runs through the middle of it. They're sized to fit, the defendant's leg. And then they clip into each side. It's almost the size of a cell phone. Like it's about this big, a little bit smaller, and then it has clips on each side that the device, the straps actually clip into it.
Okay. So in order to get it off, you would either have to have a tool that you guys have.
Yes, sir.
Or you'd have to cut it off.
Yes.
And it could be cut off.
Yes, sir. They're made to come off.
Okay. And if it were cut off, would that trigger a violation?
It does, yes.
Or a ping?
Yes, a strap alert is what it's called. So if anything, if the band itself is tampered with, the clips that actually clip to the band and then into the device, if any of that is messed with in any way, we get tamper alerts, strap alerts, all 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay. Your device is purely for GPS. It doesn't do anything else. Is that fair?
Well, correct. What would?
So does it do transdermal alcohol?
No, sir. We have a separate device that does that.
Okay. Do you have a separate device that tracks for the presence of drugs?
Yes, we do.
Do you know which drugs it tracks for?
Yes. It would take me a second to be able to recall all of them, but yes.
Does it track for dextromethorphan?
I can't answer on that. I'm not sure.
Okay. Are you aware what dextromethorphan is?
That's is it like allergy medicine?
So you're not aware?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. The state has no further questions for Ms. Gardner. Thank you.
In all these other places, Texas and Kentucky and all these other places, your equipment's worked like it's supposed to, isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. That's all I can do. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the defense proof on bond.
Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
I read Mr. Houston's brief yesterday, and I thought maybe some of the stuff might come up today that I'm concerned about. But it didn't, so here's where I am right now. Without some sort of pretrial mental health risk needs assessment, I just think that this case is one where I'm going to deny bond altogether. I'm not going to put any bond, I'm not going to put any conditions. I don't know that we can get to the point where I can make a reasonable decision on that matter without there being some kind of mental health assessment of this gentleman, because the crime that's outlined in this warrant, the testimony that we took today, is so outlandish, and so gruesome that, you know, without something to the contrary concerning his mental health, I think the malice that's required under the cases involving murder are made out by his own actions and words. And so I can't say that this is not a first-degree murder case. Clicks all the other criteria unless the mental health component takes away that action with malice. Proof is evident, presumption is great, is what the Constitution says. So I think he falls into that category. I thought this was going to be easier than it was, but it's not going to be easy. So I'm going to deny him all bond, and find probable cause to find the case over to Williamson County Grand Jury without a bond.
Thank you, Judge. Would you like the state to prepare an order?
I think that I can write it on the warrant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Judge, can we have a moment with our client?
Yes, sir, you may.
Thank you, Judge.